So today we are delving into the world of fun weekend cooking.
I take the sweetness of the weather, keep the mood light as a feather, add the salt, add the pepper, mix my heart and soul together, cause it's better this way.
Hi guys, welcome to the Brook 101, where I'm showing you some of the recipes that we've developed at the Brook restaurant over the past 7 years. In amongst an industrial estate, next to a steelworks, and with various beeping, reversing vans going off all day today, apparently. So we will have some friends with us today, some friend noises, but that's fine because that's what lockdown filming is all about. So we're making teriyaki noodles, which is a super sticky, delicious, fun, naughty dish. And for me, it's the kind of dish I'll make on the weekend when I fancy a takeaway. But there aren't that many great takeaways in my area that do good vegan food. So I don't really fancy often spending 20 or 30 quid on mediocre vegan food. It's just a bit meh. It's not the point of fun weekend food, is it? So this is a teriyaki dish that you can make at home, and it's just better than a takeaway. It's better than any takeaway you're going to get that's vegan in your area. So learn how to make this dish and make it a weekend staple. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the teriyaki sauce until it goes really thick and sticky. We're not actually going to use a thickener for this, which you'll see in some recipes. You might see like tapioca or cornstarch, something like that. We're actually going to thicken it by letting it reduce and letting the sugar do its job. Now let's talk sugar. So we obviously need sugar for this because teriyaki is sweet, but we're going to use in this dish coconut palm sugar if you can get hold of it. Now, by always not saying this is, healthy, it's sugar still, but it goes through very minimal processing, so it is more of an unrefined sugar. It does maintain some of its nutritional benefits, although I think you'd probably have to eat a pretty unhealthy amount to get enough of the nutrition from it. So it is still sugar, so we don't want to have this kind of dish that often, but it's fine as a treat on the weekend. And the coconut palm sugar, it's really dark and rich, and as I say, unrefined, so better than using normal white processed sugar. So we've got 5 tablespoons of that. It's for 2 people, so lots of sugar to make this a real treat meal. For the rest of the ingredients for the sauce, we have got 6 tablespoons of soy. I've got 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, and that is optional. I think it really adds a nice flavour to it, but if you do want to leave out the oil, you can. We've got also 6 tablespoons of mirin, which you can get in the supermarket, super easy, or in like an Asian supermarket. 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, a big heaped tablespoon of minced ginger. I've already minced it, I actually grated it down to get it to be like that. And we're going to put in a whole lime juice and 4 garlic cloves. So that's all of our sauce ingredients. And then vegetables, really it's any stir-fried veg that you love, so you can really add your own flair to this. I'm today going to go with pepper, green beans and baby corn. I think they're a nice combo. And then I've already pre-cooked my noodles because I don't want to try and cook them in the pan and get the timings of the veg and the noodles right together. So just pre-cook them and then we can mix them through at the end and bring it back up to heat. So again, I've done like 2 nests of wheat noodles because I think they've got a really nice bite to them for this dish. They're pre-cooked and cooled so that they won't stick together whilst we're making the rest of the dish. So the first thing we want to do is get our sauce on because it's going to take quite a while to reduce down. So let's pop the pan onto a medium heat. And we're just going to put all of these ingredients in. No particular method to this. They're just all going to go in. Amazing amount of fresh ginger that makes. The fresh ginger, garlic and lime, I think really makes this sauce stand out from other recipes or from like a shop-bought teriyaki sauce. Just if you can, if you know this, you'll see this doesn't take a lot of time. Just make your own sauces like this. The shop-bought ones, you know, they're made in huge batches under like really strict pricing conditions, so they can't use all these amazing fresh ingredients. They're often watered down and thickened with a thickener, so you're just not getting as great a taste from it. Get our garlic in there. It's now starting to rain as well, just to add to our background noise today. So that's going to really come down on the massive metal shutter here and all the windows in the ceiling. And then we're going to pop in the sugar, and the sugar is really going to be what, you know, mixes into the sauce and then starts to caramelize and really reduces it to sticky sauce as the liquid goes. And you want to bring that up so that it's simmering away, and then we just leave it, we'll give it a stir every now and then. But it will just keep simmering away and reducing, and then you'll be able to see when it gets really nice, thick and sticky, and that's when it's ready to use. Okay, so this has probably had about 10 minutes, maybe just a bit under, and I can just see it's not there yet, but I can see that it's starting to thicken up a bit. So while that finishes off, what you can do, you know, if this is the first time you made it and you want to get the sauce right, I would just focus on the sauce, don't worry about your vegetables and the rest of it. Just get this so that it's ready and then turn it off and put it to one side. I'm just going to chop my vegetables ready while that finishes off. Okay, now before I cook my vegetables, I'm actually going to toast off some sesame seeds because these are amazing on top of this dish, and you can't really taste them just without toasting them. So we're going to toast them just in the dry pan, and we're going to put them on a medium-high heat and just keep moving them around while they brown off. That sauce is really getting there now. Really nice and sticky. Okay, so I'm comfortable my sauce is there. I'm going to turn it off and just show you why. Okay, so basically, when I part the sauce, it takes a while for it to run back together. Hopefully you can see that. So it just means it's thickened a bit, and now as that's left to sit, it'll thicken a little bit more and be ready to add into the dish. Just going to let that sit while we toast these. So literally all you want to do with these is just give them a bit of a jiggle every now and then. And you can see they're already starting to go a bit more of a golden colour. We really want them to go quite a nice dark brown over most of them, and they will be super delicious. Okay, so top tip on your sesame seeds, keep an eye on them because they do go quite quickly. Don't walk off and start doing something else like I just did. Otherwise they will burn really quickly. I just caught them before they were going to go too far. So they are almost done now. Right, let's take those out, pop them in a pot. Okay, so we are ready to stir fry our veg. So I'm going to pop it, whenever you're stir frying veg, you really want to get the pan nice and hot. And you want to keep turning the veg in the pan so that it really cooks very quickly on all sides and seals everything on the outside. So I'm going to put that. Mine goes up to 9 and I've got it on 7 to begin with. I've just put in a little bit of oil. We don't need too much. You could use the toasted sesame oil. Instead of putting in the sauce, you could use it now to stir fry the veg if you wanted to cut down the amount of oil in the recipe. I'm just going to let that heat up so the pan's nice and hot. And then the veg are going to go in for a very quick stir fry. You really do want to be hearing quite a lot of noise when this is stir frying. You want to be hearing that sizzle, seeing a bit of smoke come off. So if you're not getting that, if you're just getting that kind of light saute sound, you probably want to take your heat up a bit. We do want the veg to char a bit, so you can see there what's happening with that pepper. We do want that to happen. That's going to add flavour to the dish. Okay, now once your veg has charred really nicely like this, so you can see, like with my baby corn, got really nice colouring on them. The green beans as well, they've got really beautiful like charred effect. We're going to take the heat down. So I'm going to medium heat. And we're going to add in the sauce so that that starts to really cover all the veg and cook into it. Now at this point, I'm just going to take it down so it's a really light simmer, it's just really just bubbling away. And I'm going to pop the lid on for a few minutes just to make sure that the inside of things like the baby corn cook through because they're quite big pieces. Okay, that's been a couple of minutes. Let's take the lid off. Now, you can just see everything's nicely cooked through, but still holding all of its colour and a good bite too. So next we're going to pop in our noodles. You might just need to do a bit of work to separate these after they've been sat. I also find with these wheat noodles, some of them are so long that they can be hard to mix in. Just going to give them a chop down the middle. It's a little trick for if you've got them, they're just too long to separate. I'm going to use my tongs just to mix those in to the sauce and the veg. Okay, so it's all nicely mixed in. We just want it to come up to temp now because obviously the noodles are cold. So again, keeping the pan on a really low heat. Let's just pop the lid on and let that warm through. While it's doing it, I'm just going to chop. So I've got some spring onion and some coriander that I'm going to use to garnish it on top and also just for like an amazing burst of fresh flavour on the top of the dish. It is, the teriyaki sauce, you'll tell when you make it, it is a really rich sauce. It's just super full of flavour. So these fresh flavours on top are really nice to cut through it. just give these a turn to make sure the top part is getting warmed through as well as the underneath. Another minute and they will be ready. Okay, they are ready to go. So the biggest challenge is trying to get them onto the plate. You need to dig out half your noodles per person, and then you can just top with some of the veg, so it'll never come out perfectly all together. Beautiful. And then, as I say, I'm going to put on some fresh spring onion, coriander. We've got these amazing toasted sesame seeds that we did. And then, last but not least, my old favourite, some dried chili flakes. Optional, of course. If you're like me, they are essential in this dish. So there you go, super easy but absolutely banging takeaway style weekend dish. Bit of a naughty treat, but just so good, and still lots of fresh veg and amazingness in there. Maybe serve it with a bit, like a wedge of lime on the side to squeeze over the top. That's delicious. But yeah, I hope you absolutely love this dish, and just let me know if you get any questions when you make it.